Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a murder is being investigated after a well-known farmer was found dead in a southern Kentucky community. And Fleming Neon is still working to refill water levels after several days of outage.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Chas Gayhart. It is 6:30 on Tuesday, January 9th. We're going to check in with Tim on a very interesting weather day.
Very interesting weather day, that's for sure, Chaz. I was just checking out some of the observations with the Kentucky Mesonet. And over at Pike County in Pikeville right now, the sensor's at an elevation of about 2,800 feet, 42 degrees, but a gust to 57 miles per hour. So around 2,000 feet, 2,500 feet. That's where the strong winds are, and they're going to be translating down into the valley floor over the next several hours. So a first alert weather day today. As I check my computer here, got to make sure I click on something to just make sure I can use this. Otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. The transition, though, from wet to some white tomorrow. Yes, flurry snow showers this time tomorrow morning. That's the view outside our studios at WYMT. Again, the wind advisory extended through tonight until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here is the pinpoint Doppler radar. Some heavy rain to the east of Hazard, more across northern Tennessee as you make your way toward La Follette, and then Somerset toward Monticello, just coming out of Campbellsville, continuing to track toward us to the north and east. That's coming at us for tonight to tomorrow morning. Planner for today, again, some of the rain will be heavy at times this morning into the early afternoon. Highs with some brightening, low and mid-50s. 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Chaz?
Thanks, Tim. State police in Whitley County are working to find out who killed a well-known man. Troopers say they found 73-year-old Charlie Ohlert dead inside his home. His daughter was the first to find him Saturday. Police say they are investigating his death as a homicide. Ohlert was well-known in Corbin area. He owns several properties off Cumberland Falls Highway.
I responded to the scene. Upon entering the residence, I immediately knew we had more than a natural cause death. You know, anytime you don't know you're a perpetrator right off the bat, it makes it a little more difficult, but we do have leads we're following up on.
Investigators have not yet released Ohlert's cause of death. A Lexington man is in jail after police say he shot his ex-wife and her son. He was supposed to be in court yesterday afternoon, but he refused to appear. Police tell us the shooting happened Sunday afternoon on Red Clover Lane. Officers arrested Urbano Romero Ortiz, who is now charged with assault, domestic violence, and wanton endangerment. Yesterday, Judge Bruce Bell waived a formal arraignment and entered a not guilty plea on Ortiz's behalf. His bond is set for $50,000 cash. A Manchester woman is facing murder and robbery charges. John Lee Couch was arrested for the murder of Rufus Smallwood Jr., also of Manchester. State police say Smallwood was reported missing Friday and his body was found on Saturday near Crawfish Road in Clay County. Police say Smallwood had visible injuries that suggested foul play. Couch is being held in the Clay County Detention Center. Crews are continuing to work through ongoing water outages in Fleming Neon, trying to get water into their system. WYMT's RJ Johnson spoke with officials about how they're tackling this issue.
For several days, people living in Fleming Neon and surrounding areas have been without water.
I hate it. For every customer that's been out, we've had some out for multiple days.
Fleming Neon District Supervisor Nathaniel Wilder says they are trying any way they can to flow water into their system.
We are currently trying to replace a valve. That way we can feed more from Letcher County water, part of our system. There's our water crew, there's 5 of us. We have a contractor with us right now that's helping us do some of this work.
While also having fire departments in the area haul water to the city for them to use. Fleming Neon Mayor Rick Burke says they're using that water to pump into their system.
Pretty much we've been pumping getting every drop of water anywhere we can get it. This is the backup source here, well, that we use. It normally gravity flows, but we now have a pump in it, pumping like 300 gallons per minute into this reservoir.
Sending it to the city's treatment plant to be sent back out to folks living nearby. In the meantime, with low water levels in the city's tank due to a dry summer and fall, Wilder says rain can help in the future. However, they need to wait for more water to move into the tank.
Rain sitting on the ground, it takes it quite a while to work its way through the ground, through the rock to get to the mine. So the rain helps a lot, and it'll help us plenty in the future. But right now, it's still a waiting game to get it back.
However, they hope this can be a solution until water begins to fill back up.
It's still going to be slow going. There still may be some small outages here and there, but hopefully with all the efforts from outside sources and us, it should slowly start to improve.
In Fleming Neon, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Mayor Burke says they will be going to measure how much water has filled in the tank since being shut off to determine if they will be able to turn it back on. In Laurel County, 2 people are facing charges after police say there was an altercation. The incident happened Sunday afternoon. Deputies with the sheriff's office were dispatched to Finley Trailer Park Road following a complaint. Following an investigation, 61-year-old William Sweet of Florida and 35-year-old Michelle Allen of Indiana were taken into custody. Both Sweet and Allen were taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. We're learning new details in a high-speed multi-county chase. Bradley Kimbrell was being held in the Rockcastle County Detention Center on several charges. Investigators say Kimbrell sped off, led police on a chase through Rockcastle, Laurel, and Madison counties. State police say as Kimbrell slowed down, he nearly hit a home. Investigators then say Kimbrell ran from the truck through a wooded area where he was caught. Kentuckians with a bench warrant have a chance to get their court date rescheduled instead of being arrested. The ACLU of Kentucky has announced their second round of amnesty dockets. Most offenders with bench warrants get them after failing to appear in court, which is why the ACLU of Kentucky put together this opportunity. For amnesty, a person with an existing bench warrant can ask that their case be placed on the docket and their bench warrant set aside. Kentucky's new Attorney General is joining 26 other state Attorney Generals asking the U.S. Supreme Court to hear Trump's petition to overturn the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to block him from its presidential ballot. In a statement, officials with Coleman's office say president's elections are national contests, and throwing a candidate off Colorado's ballot could dilute Kentuckians' votes at the ballot box. In a release, Coleman said, quote, "In this country, the people elect our leaders. That's what it means to live in a democracy. One state's judges have no right to decide a presidential election for all 330 million Americans. This isn't a question of Republican or Democrat. It's a question of letting the voters decide," end quote. Kentucky's primary is slated for May 21st. Kentucky lawmakers were back in Frankfort yesterday to continue their own legislative session. More than 200 bills were filed in the first few days. The House has presented acts related to emergency medical preparedness in schools, death in the line of duty, and blood donations, while the Senate has focused on parole for violent offenders and an act that would require ranked choice voting. The session wraps up in April. Starting today, Kentucky community action agencies will accept applications for the low-income home energy assistance program. LIHEAP assists households facing heating crisis, and the program is served to those on first-come, first-served basis. The Kentucky CAAs will accept applications until March 31st. To apply, you can call your local action agency office or 800-456-3452. The Education Department, along with the search firm it hired, reached out to get public input on the next commissioner. The release says the board needs thoughtful and candid input into the process to ensure voices from across Kentucky are heard as the selection is being made. The survey can be found on the KDE website, and they're due by February 16th. The search is underway after Jason Glass left last September after some high-profile clashes with the legislature. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has announced it is awarding funding to one eastern Kentucky county. The Wolfe County Fiscal Court is receiving more than $31,000 in county road aid emergency funds. The money will be used to repair a drainage structure on Terrell Fork Road.
What a soggy start to our Tuesday, and some of the rain continues to be heavy at times. A look at the pinpoint Doppler radar. As you make your way down toward Norton and Kingsport, Tennessee, yeah, that's the heavy stuff that continues to track into southwestern portions of Virginia. Look from Middlesboro into northern Tennessee. Look here just to the south of Danville, and then take that down toward Monticello. Track it over toward London, Laurel County. This will continue to track toward Hazard and Jackson with some of that heavy, intense rainfall and some good gusts of wind being translated down from the high terrain, or at least the higher elevation, down into the valley floors. So please keep that in mind. The wind will continue to increase here over the next several hours. Periods of rain. Some of the rain will be heavy at times this morning into the early afternoon. We'll get some breaks of sunshine this afternoon. That will get us into the low and mid 50s. Colder air comes in tonight. Could be a little slick to kick things off this time tomorrow morning. Details with the First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in just a few moments. Chaz?
Thanks, Tim. And thank you for joining us. The time is 6:41. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. The Supreme Court is now considering whether one man can pursue with a lawsuit against the FBI for being placed on the no-fly list.